Hello, this is a Bechstein Model A grand piano that's 184 centimetres long, 6 foot 1 inches, and made in 1904. It's been fully restored and I'm impressed with the way it's being restored. Let's have a look at the case first of all. It's in good condition, though not perfect, and so that means it's less expensive than it would be. You can have it repolished if you would like it to be, but it does look fair, really, I think, and it's a beautiful rosewood veneer, so it would repolish beautifully, but repolishing takes 70 hours. It's 30 coats of polish and then antique waxed afterwards. Well, it's stripped down before it's polished, obviously, so a lot of work, but certainly would turn out beautifully because rosewood does. But you can see it's pretty good round the sides, and on the top you can see there's a bit of scratching and a bit of variety, so that has brought the price of the piano down from what it would otherwise be one of the best Model A's I've ever seen, actually. Very impressed with it and very impressed with the tone of it. Very grateful to get the piano. But you can see there's a slight difference in colour on the top as well. It has the typical Bechstein Model A music stand, which is very beautiful, I think. And 85 keys, not 88, so if you're taking exams and so on, it's not really a problem to have 85 keys. You can do all your exams with those, but 88 keys is normal. A Model A is 85. This is a very respected and well-made Bechstein, and one of the best designed ones, I think. The perfect ivory keys, and they've been buffed. We've buffed them, so they're shiny. They won't attract the dirt if they're buffed. Now there's plenty of legroom. The pedals are only 5 centimetres from the floor, and there's already 62 and a half, I think, legroom. So if you were tall, there's plenty of scope to put caster cups under here. If you put 1 inch caster cups underneath, that would be plenty of legroom, an extra 2.5 centimetres, and the pedals won't be too high. We've mentioned this before. If the pedals are high already, then it's not much scope to do that, but they're very low on Bechsteins very often. What's really impressed me on this piano is the tone and the touch, and we have refined it a little bit more. But the tuning pins are oversized tuning pins. In other words, they're bigger than the originals, which is necessary if you change the strings, and it's been restrung. So they can replace the rest plank, but it's not necessary. They're very, very tight tuning pins, which is encouraging. You can see the serial numbers being put on again there, and the frame's done in a very attractive matte colour, and I think integral with the piano. That's got Bechstein blue felt, so that's the correct felt to use. If we look round here, you'll see it's been beautifully done. The soundboard looks perfect, and round here you can see the stringing, and the length is good. That's a sign of a good string maker. Reasonably close, or as close as you can get to the bridge pins here, and also the agraffs at the other end, and they look high quality strings. Now the keyboard's been refelted as well, and new hammers, shanks and rollers, which we've mentioned before, that we do exactly the same as that. And these are Arbel felts. If you look down there, I don't know if we can focus, there we are, Arbel, Germany. So one of the two felt hammer makers, Arbel and Renner, and also I presume Arbel have done these as well. And the rollers here, the knuckles, they're brand new, and you can see there's really hardly anywhere. They're absolutely round, and so the hammers as well. It's been played a little bit, played in, I would say, so it probably sounds better than when the hammers were new. Just a little bit of indentation there. No need to reface, as you'll hear the tone in a minute is exquisite, really. And the regulation's excellent. The springs are coming up at the right speed. So whoever's done this knew exactly what they were doing, and we're really pleased to get this piano in. And my colleague's been working on this piano before I've done this assessment. I'm not sure how much he's done the regulation here, but the regulation is excellent, whether it was already like that or whether he's done it. But if we look at the spring releases it back up to where the drop screw is, and the let off. These are the regulation points. We've got the let off here and the drop screw. There's the drop screw that needs regulating. I've gone into this on other videos, so I won't mention it too much on this one. The unaccorder, that's the left hand pedal, is taking the hammers a bit too far. If we look at this one here, You can see where the hammer's got the indentation of the strings, and it's going right through to the next indentation there, which would mean it wouldn't be enough contrast. So it should go to about there, so that it's hitting in a different part of the hammer. Let's listen to it. That's hitting there now, and if it goes right through to the next one, it won't. A bit softer, obviously, because it's 2 out of 3 strings, but even better if it goes to there. Let's listen. So let's watch it as it goes to there. Much quieter. I'm playing it the same amount by the a different tone as well as a different volume. Another important bit of regulation left to do is that using the sustain pedal, which is lifting them off beautifully, but the bottom bass ones are coming off earlier, and too early really, so they're almost coming off immediately. They're almost sustaining, and they almost, the hammers lift. If you watch the hammer, it's almost lifting off with the hammer, lifting off too early. So the bottom bass ones need regulating, and the middle ones are much better. So if we look at that one, it's lifting off a bit later. So we'll regulate them all finely, obviously. And by the way, the Bechstein Model A very frequently has a crack here. It doesn't necessarily affect the piano when it's restrung and redone. This is often stitch welded or certainly repaired. And if on that bar and on this one, you'll see, if you look at cracked Bechstein frame, if you look at that up on the internet, you'll see many images of them. So that's very common on Bechsteins, and this one hasn't got any of that at all. As you can see, no cracks whatsoever. I don't think they've been there and been repaired. I just don't think they were there in the first place. So looking at the worksheet, I think I mentioned everything that needs doing. Generally, most of it's just good already. There's no moth or woodworm. We always check everything really. Tuning pins are tight, and the pitch is a bit low. We haven't tuned this up yet, and yet it's almost exactly in tune. So that should be 440. You take it to about 442 normally. So I'm not sure when it was restored. I'm guessing in the 1970s from the colour of the bass strings. And we need to regulate the dampers. That's the main thing, and buff the keys and voice the hammers. So just some fine work really. And the dampers are really important actually to get right. It affects the touch as well as the fact that they lift off too early in the bass. And we have already lubricated the balance rail, and that's brought it down. That's why I've crossed off the numbers there. So my colleague's already done that. So that's gone down to 55, gone down sort of about 3-4 grams, and they're quite light actually in the middle now. So that's 44 down weights. It feels beautiful to play, and an up weight of about 26, I think I've written there, 28, which is very good. So everything's excellent. There's a bit of voicing to do on that note, and other notes as we play it will mark the ones that need voicing. Just to compare the piano with other ones. This is the same age, 1905 Blüthner, and just 5 centimetres longer. This one's had a converted action put in it, so it's a very special piano. This is a 170 centimetre Bösendorfer, which is made in 1936, so later. The hammers need voicing a bit on this one. So that's a Bechstein Model A grand piano, 185 centimetres long, 6'1", made in 1904. What always impresses me about Bechsteins is the action. It's just something about them that I really delight in the action. And the tone is warm and powerful if you want it to be. And also very lyrical. There's a very good contrast with the unrecorder pedal. It needs adjusting a little bit, but generally the piano's practically ready to go. We just need to do probably a day's work on it just to refine it. If you're interested in the piano, please do write to us, info@robertspianos.com.